Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. It's gonna be the last episode for Claude's Route. I don't know if I'm excited or not. I mean, a lot of things that I thought were gonna happen already happened, so I have no idea what's gonna be in store for us for this last episode. I guess we'll get started. Let's go. Hello. This is editing I here. So I just realized there is like some popping going on in my mic. And I'm currently like looking for the solution to it. I'm not sure if there is currently any popping in my mic, but let's hope not. I hope I fixed the problem already. And sorry if it's here for the rest of the video. It might be in some of my few other videos since I recorded a few videos in one day. So if you hear it, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was there. So yeah. Well, back to the video. And that is why, come what may, my promise to you will always hold firm. I will always be dedicated to you, the people of Vargantia, above all else. The atmosphere in the room is relaxed as Lance finishes up his speech. The soft silence that had been the backdrop of his speech breaks apart when we all applaud. It was perfect, Lance. Lance bends down into an elegant bow and smiles at her. Well, I had a good teacher. Emmeline puts her hand on her chest and smiles sheepishly. But I only listened. Lance's eyes seem to sparkle when he looks at her. Having someone around who knows how to listen is incredibly valuable. Emmeline's only response is a blushing smile. In the end, I found out that Emmeline offered to listen to Lance's speech in exchange for his helping her learn that Bargantian dance. That was a mouthful. A very confusing sentence for me. Apparently, the trade worked. Emmeline and Lance danced together at the wedding, and it seemed that Lance has improved his speech by performing it for Emmeline. Lance puts a hand on his hip as he glances at Claude. Yeah? Yay? Or nay? You pass. You didn't look as stiff as a board and your smile was subdued. At least I know how to memorize my speeches. Claude waves a hand dismissively at him. Spontaneity is not a bad thing. It just means I know how to improvise. He winks at me. Besides, Lucette is excellent at memorizing things. We're unstoppable when we give speeches together. Or maybe you could learn to actually sit down and memorize what you need to say. Darling, do you really have so little faith in me? My only response is a too sweet smile. When I turned back to Lance, that smile has become gentler. It was a great speech, Lance. I'm sure you'll make your father proud. Thank you, Princess Lucette. Oh. He smiles a little awkwardly. I mean, thank you, Lucette. Lance is still having difficulty not using titles for my siblings and I. He is technically my brother-in-law now. Sorry to cut in, but it's almost noon, isn't it? Oh, right. Lance gives another bow and smiles. I'm going to head back to my room and make sure the servants have taken care of my luggage. I'll meet you all at the gates in 10 minutes. He excuses himself before the rest of us can follow after him. Rod eyes his disappearing bag with clear suspicion. What is it, Rod? He glances at Emmeline and shrugs. It's nothing.
He sighs as well as we all leave the dining hall. The palace is bustling at this time of day. Servants walk through the halls, carrying utensils in preparation for lunch. Rod and Emmeline have already gone ahead of us. Emmeline seems eager to meet Lance at the gates first, and Rod mentions that he has some quick errand to run before meeting us. I notice a few servants heading to the gates with luggage, and figure they must be the men Lance was referring to. It'll be strange not to have Lance here anymore. Lost in thought, are we? Klaude's voice startles me from my thoughts. I was just thinking that this is the closest I've seen you and Lance since he's visited. Because we're not at each other's throats? I poke his shoulder. Exactly that. It's been nice seeing you two get along together. I'm just adding words. Improvise. Rivals we may be, but Lance and I are brothers. We always make up. We're close that way. I was beginning to have my doubts, but I'm glad. I smile at him as we continue towards the gates. Emmeline and Lance are already there when we arrive. The two of them face each other at the carriage doors. You're welcome to visit whenever you like, Emmeline. I'm sure Father and Mother would love to have you. Oh, I'd love to visit. After all the stories you've told me about Brigantia, I can't help but think that it must be a magical place. Magical in a different way from Ansley. I think you'd enjoy it. He pauses, looking thoughtful for a few moments. I suppose I'd have to introduce you as my sister-in-law. Stepsister? Emmeline laughs. Sounds like a mouthful. Sister will do just fine. Oh no! There's siblings now? Oh no! That means they can't be together. No! No, I really like Emmeline X Lance. They really look cute together though. Lance's expression seemed to crumple into something more sullen. You know, it really is a shame that you are... What's a shame? Rod, who had been hovering by the gates watching the two of them, steps up to the carriage with his eyebrows raised. Oh, it's nothing. Lance smiles softly and says nothing else. Lance pauses to turn to Klaude and me as we approach the carriage. Ah, there you are, Karma, Lucette. He takes a step forward and clasps Klaude's hand in his. Ah, they look cute. Also, Lance is taller than I thought. I'm panicking. Gay panic. He's taller than I thought. Dang, he's as tall as Klaude, is he? Oh, I thought he'd be shorter. Just cause he's the little brother, you know. But I know not all little siblings are gonna be shorter than you. Most of my younger siblings are almost as tall as me or taller than me already, you know. So I should know better than anyone else that I shouldn't think that because he's the little brother he should be shorter. He shakes it firmly with a bright smile. I expect you to listen for news of my speech. I can assure you that the people will be praising it all over the realm. Klaude looks back at him, amused. I'll hold you to that standard then, and if anything less happens, I'll be severely disappointed. Don't worry, Karma. I'll make sure that my speeches make yours pale by comparison. And how can my speeches pale by comparison when I'm naturally charismatic? Oh, I think Lucette would be more suited to giving speeches than you. Well, I can't argue with you there. If you challenged me to a speech competition, I would no doubt win. Lucette has an eloquence and wit that little of us possess. And even more impressive, she has the strongest, most competitive heart I've ever seen. And Lance pulls his hand away and holds it up as if to bar Klaude from speaking. Yes, yes, I've heard it all before. You've already told me many things about her. Days worth, in fact. I could never run out of things to say about my lovely queen. You mean wife? Wife is so underwhelming. If I were to tell you anything along those lines, I would much rather say my heart, or maybe my other half, or... I put my fingers to his lips to silence him. If you talk longer, Lance will never leave. I noticed that the carriage has already been prepared. Lance is to ride through the main plaza before heading out to the city gates and back to Bergantia. Even... Ever the flatterer. Same goes to you. Lance takes a step back towards the carriage doors, but then pauses again to look back at us. I'm looking forward to it. To work with you two, I mean. We may not be seated on thrones now, but once we are, well, I'll look forward to the competitions. Let us all promise to inspire each other through friendly competition going forward. It's a promise. Klaude says the words at the same time I do, though I can't help but turn away with a scowl when he grins at me. Well, as they say, great thinks, mine alike. Wait, why is everything related to the crown suddenly a competition? Klaude and Lance eye each other with mirrored confidence. I'll be expecting good things from you, Llama. And you too, Karma. And... I easy gonna say don't call me Llama. Oh, he's not, okay. He turns to me with a gentle smile. Once things settle down and you have time, please do come visit Bergantia, Lucette. I know you'd never be there for long, but I'm certain everyone would appreciate our presence there very much. All they have right now are rumors of a beautiful and refined crown princess of Ansley. I will try my best to visit when I can, then. Lance turns to Emmeline and Rod. And Rod, Emmeline, you're always welcome to visit whenever you'd like, so please do. He takes a step into the carriage and then turns and winks. And do right! I'll be terribly offended if you don't. Of course his farewells are just as dramatic as his brother's. Ew, what is this sound effect? Is that the clops of the horse's hooves? If so, it's ugly. It sounds so sludgy. Why does it sound so sludgy? Ew! Right as we all say our goodbyes, Lance enters the carriage and disappears from sight. The large, elaborate carriage trundles away slowly. Emmeline and Rod leave first. The two of them engage in some quiet conversation that I cannot hear. Emmeline looks equal parts thoughtful and sad, while Rod appears almost quizzical. Klaude and I stand there for a few moments longer, watching the carriage disappear into the crowded plaza. Even here, people love Prince Lance of Bergantia. Once it is out of sight, Klaude turns to me and takes my hand. He plants a kiss on the back of it. Shall we go, my lovely queen? Ew. I just slammed my chair into the desk. I clasp my hand in his and lean on his shoulder. Yes, let's go, Klaude. The two of us walk back towards the wife. I can't get the wife out of my head. The wife haver, you know. That's what they call, Okay. The two of us walk back towards the palace together. Oh, we got the good end. Okay. All right, time to get the. No, we got the normal end, not the good end. Time to get the good end. Oh, the good end. Ah. If the invitation is correct, then this should be the place. Claude and I paused in front of the doors to the throne room. Claude is still holding the anonymous invitation that arrived at our door earlier. He pulls his gaze from the invitation and up to the double doors. The sound behind the doors is muted, but not inaudible. We could hear the chattering sounds of a boisterous crowd, even while we are still at the end of the hall. Darling, what is this? I wonder. Claude raises an eyebrow at me as he tucks the envelope into one of his pockets and starts forward. He pushes the door to the throne room open without hesitation. Stepping into the throne room is like stepping into another, more richly decorated world. Elaborate tables filled with overwhelming displays of food and decorations stand beneath a dazzling array of sparkling chandeliers and vibrant lights. Claude stares at everything in wide-eyed awe. His being at a loss for words makes me smile. What, cat got your tongue? What is all of this? It's nearly midnight. The minute he says the words, the clock chimes 12. The sound, though muted, still chimes in the background beneath the layers of live orchestra music. Of course it's midnight. It wouldn't be a midnight ball otherwise. Claude stares around him once again, his confusion giving way to a bright smile. A midnight ball. Did Lance tell you about them? He did. I have been working with him and Emmeline to create an as accurate a portrayal as possible. Claude directs his attention to the center of the room, where various rose decorations have been put on display. Performers, some of them witches, surround the perimeter of the room and perform for all of it in attendance. Lucette, he turns to me. I love it, darling. He leans down to kiss me softly on the lips, but only briefly before turning away with a strange look on its face. Was it Llama's suggestion to throw this celebration tonight? It was, but why does it matter? Ah, it's no wonder you put off leaving Angeli. He frowns at someone in the crowd. I follow his gaze to Lance, who's dancing at the center of the ballroom with Emmeline. Both of them are too engaged with each other to even spare us a glance. Leave it up to Lance to ruin my plans in the best way possible. Your plans? Claude's frown disappears, and in a heartbeat, the smile had returned to his face. He pulls me closer to him and kisses at the top of my head. It's nothing, darling. For now, we celebrate. He leads me right into the middle of the crowd, and from then on, the atmosphere of the midnight party shifts. Even the nobles, whom I do not usually speak with, are more open in front of Claude, and the night becomes one filled with chatter and cheer. Everywhere we go, there are congratulations and handshakes. Before, greeting so many people would have been overwhelming, but Claude exudes so much confidence that it's impossible not to get wrapped up in the moment. Most everyone from the merchant. Almost everyone from the merchant is here tonight, along with guests both esteemed and foreign. I speak with as many of my acquaintances as I can that night, and on one occasion even chase after one of them when he makes no sign of having noticed me. Garland! Garland stops and whirls to face me, his face beet red. Is something wrong? Why is he so flushed? I saw him patrolling outside the area earlier, but he was pacing back and forth and looked restless. I glanced down at his hands and noticed one of them has been closed into a fist. No, nothing to report, Your Highness. What is it you are holding? Garland lets out a deep sigh before uncurling his fingers. I startle when I see a small palm-sized box in his hands. He quickly closed his fingers over the box again. It's a ring. For Jurian. It takes me a few moments to understand. But once I do, I cannot help but smile at that pulls at my lips. I made certain that we both got the same breaks tonight so that I well, you know. If you proposed to Jurian in a public, she would punch you, wouldn't she? Absolutely. But even worse than that, I'd lose my words in the crowd. It still surprises me that Garland's confidence never wavers when he deals with his fellow knights, but anything related to Jurian makes him blush. Good luck, Garland. I'm certain she'll accept. I really hope so. You and Prince Klaude will be the first people to know the outcome of whatever the case. It is a good thing he didn't tell Klaude he was going to propose. It would have been much harder to get him to this ball if he insisted on spying on them. Garland gives a polite bow before heading off, cheeks still flushed. I'm sure that he'll be fine. Jurian will definitely accept. Princess Lucette! Lance suddenly stands before me with a mischievous smile on his face. Emmeline is standing beside him, laughing breathlessly. A coy smile takes me by surprise. What else do you have planned, Lance? Well, Princess, it is just Lucette now. Lance is technically my brother-in-law now. He ought to call me by my name without my title. When I told him a few days ago, he apologized profusely and told me he was unaccustomed to calling me without my title. Sorry, Lucette. But as for plans, yes, I do have something in mind. You chose this day for a reason, didn't you? Of course. He then briefly explained the rest of his plan to me. I am surprised by what he suggests, but not so overwhelmed that I back down. I'll keep Klaude occupied for the time being. And I'm going with you, Lucette. I want to help you get dressed. That won't be necessary. You'll be done a lot faster when someone is helping you. I promise. Emmeline takes my hand and drags me behind her out of the throne room. There. Done. Emmeline steps away from me with a smile. You look lovely, Lucette. She eyes the glass slippers on my feet. Glass slippers? Aren't those uncomfortable? You can't... Like... Why would you wear glass slippers? Like, cloth ones are much more comfortable. You can go around your feet and it doesn't cut you or anything. Why glass slippers? Why? I've only worn them on rare occasions, and it is strange to be wearing them now, but Emmeline insisted they suited the dress Klaude brought me for my birthday. I still do not see why I had to come back and change. Couldn't I have just come to the ball with this dress in the first place? It wouldn't have been like Cinderella if you showed up with the prince. Like Cinderella? You've read the fairy tales enough times to know. You surprised Klaude with the ball, but Lance wanted to help you surprise him in some other way. But why? You'll see. She takes my hand and pulls me back to the throne room. When we return to the throne room doors, I realized immediately that something was different. Though there are sounds behind the door, they are more subdued. The loud music from earlier is gone. I'll go in first. Wait a few minutes after me, okay? Lance said you probably know what the signal was. Wait, what is happening? Emmeline's only response to my question is a smile. See you on the other side, Lucette. Emmeline pushes the door open and steps inside. For a few moments, I consider following her despite what she said, but then I feel a noticeable shift in atmosphere. This, and suddenly I hear it. I recognize the song immediately. It is soft and quiet and barely audible, and perhaps not suited at her midnight ball at first listen, but this song, Claude? I make my way into the throne room. I half expect to see Claude sitting at the piano playing the song, but he is nowhere to be seen. The man at the piano is one of the court musicians. How does he know this song? I suddenly became aware of the fact that the room is quiet, save for the song, and that everyone has turned to look at me. I feel mildly uncomfortable with so many people staring at me. But this is not like 2 years ago where people looked at me in fear. Everyone here just looks awestruck, and the people I do know are smiling. I noticed someone shifting to the crowd and turned to gaze at them as they emerged from the middle of the ballroom floor, where the crowd was or departed. Claude is staring at me, awestruck. In that moment, I forget about everyone else there and smile only at him. It was worth putting on this just to see that look on his face. Claude startles, then smiles back at me, just as brightly. He holds out his hand, and I begin to walk towards him. May I have this dance, Cinderella? Cinderella? I have no idea who you're referring to. I slide my hand into his with a grin. He settles his other hand on the small of my back and pulls me closer. You're right. It is wrong of me to compare you to Cinderella. After all, she couldn't hold a candle to you. Oh? I thought you were fond of calling me Ice Princess. And now here you are using fire metaphors again. I'm spontaneous, remember? I say whatever comes to my mind. He begins the dance first, and I fall into step immediately beside him. We have danced together so many times that we do not even have to think about each other's movements. It isn't long before the area around us is crowded with other couples twirling and spinning beneath the same lights. Is this all spontaneous then? Did you learn this song from one of the musicians? No, I taught the song to him. This night was supposed to go very differently before Lance meddled. You know, I was going to have somebody play this song in your room, and I was going to dance with you on the balcony. And then after that, I would serenade you into the night. He glances down at my dress and my shoes. Instead, it seemed that Lance somehow managed to orchestrate my plan out here. I told him about it before, and now he's turned it into some... I told him about it before, and now it's turned out that he's used one of the information against me. So rather than you surprising me, it was I who surprised you. You think Llama's so nice, but then he goes and does things like this just to ruin my plans. Though I do have to admit that he made this a lot more spectacular than I anticipated. What do you think of the song? He draws me closer to him after an underarm twirl. For a few moments, I remain pressed against his chest, smiling. I love it. Where do you learn it? Learn it? I composed it for you, darling. And now apparently the whole kingdom will know that. I catch Lance's eyes as we are twirling. He only winks as we spin away from him. That is fine. It's a beautiful song, and I hope more people will start playing it. Yes, and in your honor. He pulls me close enough to plant a quick kiss on my lips. You look radiant in that dress, Lucette. Only because it is a beautiful dress chosen by a man who happens to be a dress connoisseur. You flatter me, love. He dips me and presses his forehead to mine. It is my greatest pleasure in life to spoil you, you know. Someday, our responsibilities in the kingdom will have come first. One day, the king will ask me about about our family. But for now, I wrap my arms around Claude's neck and kiss him. But for now, while I still can, I want to enjoy spoiling Claude and be spoiled by him. I love you, Claude. I love you too, my darling Rosette. The two of us continue to twirl under the chandeliers, two stars revolving around each other in a dazzling, beautiful, personal universe. And their laugh lasted forevermore. Oh, a chameleon! That's cute. Do 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 do. Yay, yay, yay! Ending of Claude's route. Oh, you can still see the skip button. Why is the skip button here? No, I don't want to skip this song. Anyway, okay, so we've got the two endings of Claude's route. We're gonna go for Chevalier's route. The worst guy in my opinion in of the five guys. I don't like Chevalier, okay? I don't know what about him, but he's similar to Claude, but for some reason I can't like him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he compliments everyone. Okay, so like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Comment down below what you think of this whole route. It's just ended, and so you could tell me below what you think of it. I think I like Claude a lot, so I like his route a lot because I like him. So it's a bit biased. So you tell me your unbiased opinion, I guess. And subscribe for more content like this if you want to watch the rest of my playthrough of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore, then please subscribe. I also do a lot of visual novels, and I'm planning to branch out to other games as well as soon as I find some games to play. That is, I don't know what to play. I bought a bundle the other day, but I still haven't figured out what to play on them. Which one to play and which one to play on my channel. So give me some suggestions and I'll play them. And I think that's all. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Oh, there's another letter here now. But it kind of looks ugly. Not the letter itself, just the placement looks ugly. Okay, that's all my last comment. Bye bye.